So onto the grill smoker. Let that get down below 200 degrees before we stick our trail bologna in there. Okay, and I'm going to use the upper rack to try and get as much smoke as I can. In this week's video, we're in the kitchen
making trail bologna.
So if you're at all familiar with trail bologna, it is a smoked meat product. It is all beef. It is a product that used to be made by many households would have their own recipe, and they might have used other meats as well, but typically beef is what trail bologna is known for. So it is a trail food, which is where the name comes from, and it was made for traveling in years gone by. People would make it, take it on the trail. It's a convenience food from 100 years ago.
In our trail bologna, we'll be breaking with tradition and using ground turkey instead, with slightly less salt than what the recipe calls for.
There's different curing salts that are typically used in the process, and we're looking to cut down on some of that. We don't want so much salt in this, so let's get started.
So we'll be reading the recipe to you, and this will be, the amounts that we give you will be per pound of meat.
Right, per pound, and we're going to make 3 pounds today, so we're going to be tripling what we're saying. So we're putting our dry ingredients in a bowl first, and we're going to mix that up, right?
Right, because you mix your dry ingredients first.
And then we'll sprinkle that over the meat, and we'll mix it into the meat really well.
Yes. 1 teaspoon of kosher salt.
We need 3/4 teaspoons of paprika. Then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder.
1/2 teaspoon of pepper.
And a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder.
3.
Time for my tea break.
What? It's not really tea, it's hot chocolate. Stir briskly.
By the way, we do have these really cool mugs available. Check out the links in the description below if you have interest in that.
Mine's Dandy Blend, just in case you were curious. 1/4 teaspoon of celery salt.
Need an 1/8 of a teaspoon of cardamom.
1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg.
An 1/8 teaspoon of coriander. All right, so now we need to mix this up, get our powder all
incorporated.
That's the technical definition or term. Is it term? Yeah, whatever.
Now we are going to roll the meat out.
And once it's rolled out, we'll sprinkle our mixture on top of it. And then we'll start folding it in there to mix it up, right? Well, if you like these videos, please share them with your friends.
And hit like and subscribe.
And hit that notification bell if you'd like to receive notifications when we upload the next video. We upload new videos every Friday morning.
Follow the links in the description below for some cool merchandise that we sell.
It helps support the channel and enables us to keep bringing you free content. We have this recipe, but this is the first time we've actually made it. And this is our first time actually making our own trail bologna at home. And so, yeah, we're going to smoke it and everything. We're going to smoke it on the grill. If you saw our video series about the outdoor kitchen that we built, we purchased a grill for our outdoor kitchen. We're going to use that grill today to smoke this meat. So she has the meat all spread out nicely, and we have our dry mixture here. And we need to just make sure it's mixed up well, which it already is, and just try to spread it as evenly as possible across this meat. Now we are going to mix it well, but we're mixing by hand, and so we want to make sure that we kind of get it somewhat even, because it's easier, right? I'm just going to kind of shake it around, get it on there. Now that we have our dry seasoning all over the meat, we want 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, And of course that's per pound of meat, so I'm doing 3 on here.
So the easiest way to do this by hand is to fold it in and then start mixing the meat up.
Kind of like making a jelly roll kind of thing.
The meat roll.
I don't know, we could just...
you could just leave it like that.
We could just put this on a cookie sheet and bake it in the oven. I think it would be good the way it is. Now, if the mix feels too dry, you can add water to it as you go. It's just a matter of, it needs to be mushy.
But you only want to use enough that makes it soft and moist enough to kind of help it along as you put it through the sausage roll.
Yeah, it's just supposed to be mushy enough to go through your sausage maker or meat grinder, whatever you're going to use.
The time has now come for Philip to do some strenuous labor.
If you have a sausage stuffer, that works great. And if you don't, if you have a meat grinder, you can get a sausage horn attachment, and that just goes on the front. If you're not familiar with these meat grinders, this front just screws on and off. If you put it on too tight, you can't hardly turn the handle. So just loosen it slightly, and it turns much easier.
That kind of resembles some kind of gun.
It's a sausage gun.
So the sausage meat will go into a collagen casing, and we have a smoked collagen casing that is all beef that we're going to be using.
So you take your collagen casing, you just go over top of your cone. Basically, you just hold it, and as you crank the meat through, it'll fill this, and it'll slowly push itself out. So you want your casing to be nice and full, and you just have to adjust a little bit. Sometimes it comes off and it's not quite as full, so I'll just stop it from coming off the horn and just crank a little more, and my tube gets a little bit fuller, and then I let it move on. Alright, we went a little bit too far, so what we're doing here, rather than just cutting it and dealing with a bunch of meat, we're going to push the meat back in the tube just long enough, far enough to get enough to tie a knot in this one and in the next one. It just squeezes back real easy. I should have been paying attention better and cut it as it was coming off, but I didn't. Alright, real simple. We'll just squeeze that down in as best we can. And then, don't want to do it so much that it breaks, but want to get down there, and then we'll tie a knot right there in the end. Try to roll that knot down. There's our first one.
I am so sorry.
I think we're done. Yeah, right there. Well, that one's a lot longer than the other one. Got a couple air bubbles down in there, and I'm not really sure how to get them out. It looks like you can kind of work them backwards and push them out this way, but I'm afraid I'm going to end up pushing meat out through this open end by doing that. So maybe the thing to do is to just leave it in there and live with it. Well, I was fooling around with it so much, I actually broke it. I broke the casing. So, what to do? Well, it's pretty long anyway, and we were just talking about it's probably too long for the grill. So I'm going to take a little bit out of the end, tie a new knot. All right, there's my knot. Now I'm going to pick what looks like the middle, and I'm going to squeeze some of this forward into that little place that I made there. Kind of make it look somewhat equal, I guess. Should we cut these here?
No, I just twist it.
Just twist it. Oh yeah. Yeah, we can just twist that up till both of these get tight.
And then you have enough room on the grill.
Okay, I guess this is somewhat of an experiment. We just twisted that blank area into the middle, and we're just going to leave them like that until they're smoked, and then when they're done, we'll tie a string on each end and cut the middle. So, onto the grill smoker.
So there's always a little bit of meat left over in the meat grinder.
Plus what we had to squeeze out of the tubes right here. So I guess we'll just cook that up as a burger or something. If you are using an old hand meat grinder for this, yes, you do have to put all your parts in. They are a spacer for the meat grinder, so you do need those parts. You need a little cutting wheel and all that stuff in there, even though you're not grinding it.
Show them that.
Yeah, that's the inside of the meat grinder. It's like a big corkscrew, and it gets meat all over it, and basically you just have to clean it out. There's a lot of good ground meat in there. So before these go on the smoker, some people will chill them overnight in the refrigerator, and that's good to do. And if you can't wait till overnight, just an hour or two is fine. What we're gonna do is we're gonna chill these in the refrigerator, go get the grill ready, and once everything's down to coals and it's smoking good, once we got that set up right, we'll just bring them out and put them on. That'll probably take about an hour. From there, you wanna keep it on a very low heat. You want it to smoke. Not necessarily cook quickly. You want it to just smoke, and that'll be until you reach an internal temperature of 160 degrees. All right, we're out here by the grill. I've got the charcoal side lit. I started with charcoal, and I'm going to put some hardwood on there. We have a lot of hickory around here, so we're probably going to use mostly hickory. There'll be some other stuff mixed in there as well. So once that gets down to the coals pretty good and is smoking pretty good, then we're going to put the meat on. I'm going to put it on the top rack. That way it cooks really slowly, because we're wanting to get as much smoke as possible, not necessarily a bunch of heat. Grill temperature right now looks like about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's definitely a lot hotter than what we need it to be. So the wood chips that we use are hickory, as I said, and basically they're just little pieces of wood, very small, and we just put them over on top of the coals of charcoal, and it's pretty small stuff. We'll keep putting really small stuff on as needed, just as long as it stays good and smoky. So as far as our wood that I would use in a smoker situation, where do I get that from? We heat our home with wood, and we split our wood with an axe. So, I mean, yeah, we always have little bits and pieces, and if you have something that's really good and dry, you can always split it down even smaller with an axe. Yeah, there seems to be no short supply of little wood chips and pieces around here, at least. So another idea for getting wood chips for smoking, someone I know actually does this. They have an electric chainsaw or battery chainsaw, and what they do is they, instead of putting bar oil in it, they actually use vegetable oil. So they'll take that saw and they will carve on a piece of wood, or whatever you want to call it, cut on it, and get a bunch of sawdust, and that sawdust is what they use for smoking. Okay, well, the grill is down to all coals, and I put just a couple little pieces of wood in to get a little bit more smoke going, and it's put the temperature up to about 300 degrees, and it's staying constant there, and that stuff's burned up pretty well. It's not gone, but it's working on it. So I don't think it'll be a problem to start these right now. So they've been chilling in the fridge all this time, and it's actually been about 2.5 hours. So we're going to get them on the grill and get started here. All right, I'm actually not going to put our grates back in. I'm going to use the upper rack to try and get as much smoke as I can. All right, well, the grill seems to be smoking pretty good and the meat is on. It's going to take a couple hours, and I'll be opening it every once in a while to check the temperature and to try and regulate the temperature. I need to build a cold smoker, and we were planning to do that sometime right around the corner here of the screen for the outdoor kitchen. We plan to build a cold smoker, and when we do, we'll make a video out of that. Not sure when that'll be, but its plans are in the works anyways. Well, I came out to check on our trail bologna, and it's still not done yet, and sun is setting. Of course, it's that time of year where it seems like it gets dark before we're done with any outdoor projects, so yeah, we'll see how this goes. So with smoking the trail bologna, so far temperature seems to be difficult to regulate. I'm coming out and checking about every half hour to an hour. I'm putting more wood chips on, and that keeps my smoke going, but then my temperature goes up a little bit too much. It's a bunch of bologna. Anyway, the sun is set. It's time to check on the trail bologna again. So this whole process of smoking is supposed to take about 4 hours, and we're not quite there yet. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this in and finish it in the oven. Our internal temperature is not quite there yet. We need to be at 160, I believe, and we're not quite there. So I'm going to put it in the oven. It's probably got enough smoke on it, so I think we're going to do that to finish it up and get it done.
What? No! Oh!
Well, we brought the trail bologna in the house from the grill. On the grill, it was bouncing back and forth 200 to 300 degrees, and it was fine. Once we brought it in the house, I heated up the oven to 200 degrees, put it in the oven, and this one blew up, split apart, and we took it out and we just left it keep going. The internal temperature was not getting there, so we put this one up at 300 for these two, and they blew apart as well. Yeah, there's the first one to blow up, and the other two just kind of blew up in the pan. Well, like we said, it's an experiment. So this one's been out for longer. You want to try some of that?
Yeah.
It's the first time we made trail bologna. So this one's cool because it's been out the longest.
It's good. It doesn't have the same consistency as the beef trail bologna.
Yeah, it's different. The texture's different. This one's going to be hot. You want it? Whatever. Give me that.
Warmed up, it actually tastes a little better.
Yeah, the warmer one's better. Things always taste better warm. It tastes good. It's just, it's a different texture, different consistency than what we usually have with the beef one. The turkey's, it tastes good though.
Yeah, it tastes good. It's a little dry.
So lessons learned here. It's a bunch of bologna when you blow up your bologna. I think we put the heat up too quickly. Whenever we went from 200 degrees to 300 degrees in the oven heated up too quickly maybe, and that just blew it up. This one blew up at 200 degrees, so I don't know. Any ideas?
I'm thinking a lower temperature for longer.
Yeah. It was almost done outside. I just wanted to quit going out there and messing with it and just bring it in the house where it's warm and finish it up. Should have just kept it on the grill.
Yeah, maybe next time just keep it on the smoker.
Well, that's it for this video. Hope to see you on the next one. We also have a new book release, and the link for that will be in the description in our new videos. The new book is called Our Handmade Home. It's all about how I built our house myself. I did have help on that, obviously, and the book is basically documenting, telling the story of how we did it, how we got it done, what enabled us to do it, the ways that we found that could enable us to do it, and hopefully it's an encouragement to those who want to build a house, whether you're building it yourself or whether you're getting a contractor, or whether you're doing some or most of the work or all of the work yourself, you know, whatever. We just hope that it'll be an encouragement to those who are in that process. So many years ago when I was building the house, I had thought of starting a channel back then, but I did not have time. I felt that building the house itself, I didn't have a lot of time. So I did make some videos during that time, but I don't think it was enough to really make a channel with, and it's definitely not the kind of quality that I would want for how-to on how to construct things and build a house. But I'm going to share some of that video footage in this video today, so hopefully you find it interesting, and maybe it'll perk your interest in purchasing the new book. But we hope that you enjoy these videos and that you would share them with your friends. And if you haven't hit like and subscribe, we hope that you'll do that as well. It's a blessing to our channel, and it helps us grow, and hopefully we can be a blessing to you as well. Well, if you've enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We put out new videos every week, every Friday morning. And if you'd like to receive notifications when we do upload the next video, hit that notification bell. And check out our channel. We have several videos just like this one or very similar. We do various things including hiking, biking, boating, fishing, builds of various kinds, mostly outdoor activities. Some homesteading is thrown in there as well. This channel is for the experience. We do these things for the experience of doing them and to show others how you can do it too. We try to be fun and entertaining while being educational all at the same time. Sometimes these experiences are done for the first time, and other times they're things that we do all the time. Sometimes we do things just for the fun of doing it. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one.